Hey friends, what's up? Kaz here. Welcome back to another server admin tutorial or bucket spigot plugin tutorial. If you're joining for the first time, feel free to hit the subscribe button because I do these every week. Feel free to suggest a plugin you'd like me to do. I'll capture that and give you a shout out when I get to it. However, this week, not really doing any one that's been suggested. It is the 4th of July today. It is America's birthday, so we celebrate that by blowing up a small portion of it. That's shout out to Simpsons for that line. So I figured I'd find like a fun fireworks plugin, so I found this one. Let's go over it. It is made by Drew 6017, and it works with 1.84. And actually, this one I'm running on. Oh gosh, I am being attacked. Anyway, as I was saying, the version of this one, by the way, that's what you get when you interrupt a video, is you get turned into slime balls. So anyway. Version of this one is actually 1.8.6. I was going to try it in a newer version. I might try that by the end of the video, or I'll just put an annotation up over at this point to let you know if it works on like 1.87. But anyway, the author says it works at 1.8.4 and above. However, with this, it does have issues with the Firework join. So that might be just, run 1.84 and that might clear up. So what this plugin does is it allows you to make custom fireworks. It allows you to even have your users unlock special firework abilities in order to design other fireworks. First of all, let's go ahead and turn this off. So that's pretty cool. We'll go over that as well. So you got a few different commands. You got an FW command, which is going to just fire off a random firework. You can do FW and then put in the coordinates, the X, Y, Z, and that will set off a firework at that coordination. You can also do rapid fireworks, and then for however many seconds, and then the fireworks will go off for that long. That's pretty cool. You could do rapid fire, do the seconds, and then enter the coordinates, and it'll put it in at that coordinate, which is really cool. And then this one's kind of fun. You do click FW, and then you basically, as you click it, it's going to fire the fireworks, which is pretty sweet. As quick as you can click the thing. Alright, then you can also create a firework by doing create FW, and this is going to bring up a really cool firework builder. So each player can have up to 5 fireworks here. So we'll just select the first one, and we want to select the color. Let's make it orange. So that's the one that we're selected. We could switch that selection. So we'll do orange, and then if you want to check to see which part of the firework you're modifying, that's the primary color here. So we'll go ahead and click on secondary. So now we're on the secondary color. And so we got orange and red. I don't know. And then flicker, we're gonna not do the flicker. And then do we want the trail? We want a trail. And then let's do, what style do we want to do? Do we want to do, let's do a burst, and then make it power 3, and then save. So now that you have that saved in the slot 1, you can do FW1, and it's gonna launch your custom made firework. So there it is, orange and red, and it's like that burst thing, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing you can do is you can do a rocket firework, and that will turn them into a giant firework and launch them off, which is pretty cool. And I think it goes up 30 blocks or something like that, and it does require a special permission node, and we'll go over that in a moment. So that's pretty much it. I think if we get, yeah, you have to be pretty close to be able to see that. So that's pretty cool. All right, the next command is mini FW, which is the same thing, only it's quicker and you ride on top of it, which is kind of cool. Boom. It looks like it goes whichever way you want. Anyway, that one's kind of fun. Get away. All right, then we have grenade FW, which is really fun. So basically, you get this grenade and you just right click, drop it, and it will explode. And you can set the time in the config file. Bam. And then instant FW just launches it at your feet. Now this one is pretty cool. You do name FW, and what that does is it puts up in the sky your name in Fireworks. So you can give that to your donors. You can give any of these actions to your donors as a way to purchase just fun things on the server. It is EULA compliant, so that's really neat. Now, what you saw at the beginning of the video is something that I want to go over last here before we talk about permissions, and that is setting a fireworks pad, basically like a fireworks area. So you could set multiple of these if you want to do like some sort of fireworks event, and then use like some sort of command script to launch off the different pads, different rates, and all that stuff. So basically what you need to do is come over here, look at the corner, and do pause FW1. So that's position 1, and then we'll do over here, and that's position 2. So once we've selected the area, you know, very much like World Edit or anything like that, we're going to do create FW pad, and then you do the rate, so the amount of fireworks going off at a time, and then the tick, basically how often it fires those off. So the one at the beginning was 3 rate, and then the tick was 1, which is pretty crazy. So let's try 1 and 3, which should be pretty slower, or much slower. So there we go. Yeah, you can see it's a lot slower like that, and it's created a platform ID 1. So keep in mind what that ID is, because you can't see that ID, I believe, afterwards. So if you do list pad FW, it's going to show you just the number of pads. It would be nice if it listed your pad IDs there, which would be really cool. So basically, we're going to go stop pad FW1, and that's going to stop that pad, and we can do start pad FW0. And as you can see, that one's a lot more. We can run them on top of each other if we want, and it's going to start getting a little bit, still 60 frames a second. Anyway, so that is it. So let's talk about some permission nodes real quick. There is a lot of them. Check out the link in the gibbles to that. You find all of those permissions. So basically, all of them start with Firework Builder, dot, and then you can do the random, which gives them access to that just random FW command, the custom, which gives them to that custom GUI that you saw. There's the rapid, which gives them that rapid fire command. You can put the limitation of how long they can do that in the config file, which is pretty cool. And then you can do the click, which is that click GUI thing, the XYZ to give out access to any coordinate. Rapid XYZ, that's pretty self-explanatory. You got the gun, gives himself magical bow, which if you enable like the skills and stuff, they have to unlock it through special crafting recipes, which is pretty cool. You got the FW gun, allows players to use the magical bow, so you got to do gun, which gives them it, or FW gun. So if you want them to be able to have to unlock it, you could just give them FW gun. And then you got join FW, so it'll shoot a firework off when the player joins. Bypass allows players to bypass the cooldown timer, otherwise it's 15 seconds by default. You can change that in the config file. And then Halo, oh, I forgot about Halo, that's kind of fun. Let's do that. What is that? Halo FW. So it just puts a halo of fireworks around you. Keep in mind, it's a little bit resource intensive. Maybe a lot of computers wouldn't be able to run some of this stuff here. So be careful. And then you got Rocket, Mini FW, Platform FW, Instant FW, Grenade FW. So you might not want to give some of those to your donors, but anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm not really going to go over anything in the config file. You can set different kinds of cooldown timers by default and timer limits, and you can also enable or disable the skills unlock, which check out the link in the jewels. It'll bring you to all the custom recipes for that, so your players have to do these custom recipes in order to unlock various things. There's also custom armor, which is really cool. So anyway, I hope you guys found that helpful. Happy birthday, America. Also, side note, happy birthday, McFriends fan server. That's been around for a year now. July 1st last year was where it was. So feel free to hop on the store, and it's like 25% off for the weekend. So anyway, thank you guys so much. This is Kyle from McFriends, reminding you guys all, enjoy the game. God bless.